It is exactly 2 a.m. The Persian Gulf is pitch black, and the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln is silent. But 2 decks down, inside the Combat Information Center, the radar operator is sweating. He stares at the green circle on his screen. It is not alone. 1 blip becomes 2. 2 becomes 10. Then the screen fills up like a swarm of angry bees. A voice cracks over the radio, terrifyingly calm. "Vampire! Vampire! Vampire!" Inbound bearing 090. That is the sound of a man who knows he has less than minutes to react. Thousands of miles away, a breaking banner flashes across TV screens in living rooms across America. Urgent United States State Department orders all citizens to leave Iran immediately. But for the 5,000 sailors on this floating city, that warning came too late. They aren't watching the news. They are living it. The klaxon alarm begins to howl, a low rhythmic groan that vibrates through the steel floor. This is not a drill. The peace talks in Oman have gone silent. The diplomats have left the room. Now, the only thing talking is the radar system, and it is saying something very clear. They are coming. A young officer grips the edge of his console. He looks at the captain. The captain does not blink. He just nods. The order is given. General quarters. All hands man, your battle stations. The geographical war the Ayatollah threatened has just begun. To understand why a billion-dollar warship is currently tracking a swarm of cheap drones, we have to look back just 2 weeks. The headlines called it a diplomatic breakdown, but in reality, it was a collision course. The United States, under the new administration, laid down a hard line called zero enrichment. That means Iran had to scrap its entire nuclear program, not just the bombs, but the power plants too. They wanted the facilities at Fordo and Natanz emptied out. Iran's response was a hard no. The Iranian regime is fighting for its life, not just against the United States, but against its own people. For years, they have used their military strength as a shield. They told the United States, "We will talk about nukes, but do not dare talk about the protesters we arrest." They need the external threat to keep control internally. If they give up their nukes, they look weak. If they look weak, the regime falls. So, instead of folding, the Ayatollah doubled down. He warned of a geographical war. What does that mean? It means this is not just about Iran borders anymore. It means lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. It means activating every proxy group, every sleeper cell, and every missile silo from Yemen to Lebanon. For the sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln, this is not politics, it is math. The Iranian Khorramshahr 4 ballistic missile is sitting in underground bunkers right now. It has a range that covers the entire Middle East. It can hit Israel in under 10 minutes. It can hit a United States base before the troops can even get to their bunkers. The United States intelligence knew this was coming. That is why the Leave Iran Now order went out. It was not a suggestion. It was the final warning bell before the fire started. The talks in Oman were just a stall tactic. Iran was buying time to fix their guidance systems. They were buying time to move their mobile launchers out of the caves. And tonight, the time for buying is over. The bill has come due. The carrier group is not just a boat in the water. It is the only thing standing between those missiles and their targets. If this shield fails, the war spreads everywhere. It is 5 minutes past 2 a.m. The sky above Iran lights up, not from the sun, but from rocket motors. Deep inside the Iranian mountains, the silo doors slide open. The ground shakes as the heavy ballistic missiles roar into the night. But they are not alone. From the back of flatbed trucks hidden in valleys, hundreds of Shahed drones launch in rapid succession. It sounds like a massive lawnmower engine starting up, multiplied by 1,000. High above the clouds, the United States eye in the sky sees it all. The E-2D Hawkeye is a radar plane flying in wide circles. The radar officer on board sees the heat signatures bloom on his scope. It looks like a fireworks display in reverse. Flash launch detected. Multiple vectors. I repeat, massive launch detected. The data does not stay on the plane. In a split second, it travels through Link 16. This is the military version of high-speed Wi-Fi. Instantly, every ship, every jet, and every commander sees exactly what the Hawkeye sees. On the deck of the carrier, the catapults steam. Launch the alert fighters. 2 F-35 Lightning jets are blasted off the deck, going from 0 to 160 miles per hour in 2 seconds. The pilots are pushed back into their seats with crushing force. Their mission is not to dogfight. Their mission is to hunt. Right behind them are the EA-18G Growlers. These are not carrying bombs. They are carrying massive electronic jamming pods. The Iranian plan is simple: overwhelm the United States radar with too many targets. They want to confuse the system, but the United States response is faster. The F-15 Strike Eagles, flying from land bases nearby, scream into the zone. These jets are the heavy lifters. Tonight, they are missile trucks. Each jet is loaded with 30 to 60 small precision rockets. They are not looking for one big target. They are looking for the swarm. A pilot voice cracks over the radio. "Tally-ho! I have the swarm in sight. It looks like a wall of bugs." His thumb hovers over the fire button. He is not scared. He is focused. He knows that every drone he misses is one more threat his ship has to deal with. He presses the button. A ripple of rockets streaks away from his wing. In the dark sky, explosions start to pop like flashbulbs. One drone goes down, then 5, then 20. But for every drone that falls, 2 more seem to take its place. The radar screen is still full of red dots. And they're getting closer. The sky is now a chaotic mix of smoke and fire. The EA-18G Growlers flip the switch on their jamming pods. To the Iranian radar operators on the ground, their screens suddenly go white with static. They are flying blind. The Growlers are blasting electronic noise, hiding the United States ships in a cloak of invisible energy. But the drones do not need radar. They are programmed with GPS coordinates. They just keep flying straight. The F-35s move in. They are the snipers. They use their infrared sensors to spot the heat of the incoming cruise missiles, the fast ones flying low over the water. These are harder to hit than the drones. Fox 3, a pilot calls out. A sophisticated missile drops from the internal bay of the stealth jet. Its motor ignites, trailing a line of white smoke. It finds a cruise missile skimming the waves and impact. A massive fireball erupts over the ocean. But the sheer volume is the problem. It is a numbers game. Iran launched cheap stuff to waste expensive United States missiles. On the USS Abraham Lincoln, the captain watches the range counter drop. 50 miles, 40 miles, 30 miles. Prepare for leakers, he orders. Leakers are the missiles that get past the fighter jets. The tension on the bridge is thick enough to choke on. No one speaks unless it is a coordinate or an order. The hum of the ship engine seems louder than usual. Suddenly, the threat changes. The ballistic missiles, the big ones from the silos, are entering the final phase. They fly high into space and then come screaming down at Mach speeds. The United States Navy destroyers surrounding the carrier activate their Aegis systems. This is the shield. The ships coordinate automatically. Birds away. Vertical launch tubes on the deck of the destroyer blow open. The SM-6 missiles shoot straight up into the black sky. They are hunting the ballistic warheads in the upper atmosphere. It is a bullet hitting a bullet. High above the Earth, there are silent flashes of light as United States interceptors smash into Iranian warheads. But down below, the drone swarm is still pushing. The F-15s are running out of ammo. They have to turn back. Winchester. I repeat, I am Winchester, the pilot calls, meaning he is out of weapons. Now, there is a gap in the line, and through that gap, a group of 20 drones and 2 fast-moving cruise missiles slips through. They are heading straight for the carrier group. The ocean is silent for a moment, waiting for the impact. The radar operators thought they had it mapped. They identified the drones. They tracked the ballistic missiles. They thought they saw the whole picture. They were wrong. The geographical war was not just a slogan, it was a strategy. While every eye and every sensor was looking north toward Iran, a signal was sent to a nondescript fishing trawler floating 50 miles south of the carrier group. On the trawler, a tarp is pulled back. A hidden hydraulic lift grazes a crude launcher. New contact. Surface contact. Bearing 180. They are behind us. The shout cuts through the command center like a knife. It is a pop-up threat. No one saw it coming because no one was looking at the fishing boats. This is the twist. The distraction worked. The swarm from the north forced the United States ships to turn their radars and their weapons in one direction. Now, the sucker punch comes from the blind spot. 4 anti-ship missiles launched from the trawler. They are old models, slower, but they are close. Very close. There is no time for the fighter jets to swing around. There is no time for the long-range interceptors to lock on. The crew on the aft deck of the destroyer can actually see the smoke trails with their naked eyes. This is not a video game anymore. It is visual. Brace for shock. Brace. Brace. The alarm changes pitch. It is faster now, more urgent. The Iranian strategy relies on chaos. They know they cannot beat the United States technology, so they use confusion. They mix high-tech ballistic missiles with low-tech fishing boat launchers. For a few seconds, the computer system on the United States ship hesitates. It has to decide. Do I shoot the ballistic missile falling from space or the cruise missile coming from the fishing boat? It prioritizes the biggest threat, the space missile. That leaves the cruise missiles from the south unchecked for precious seconds. They skim the water, flying under 30 feet, hiding in the spray of the waves. The sailors grip the handrails. The knuckles turn white. They know that even if the ship survives, people are going to get hurt. The element of surprise is the deadliest weapon of all. The missiles from the fishing boat are just 2 miles out. That sounds like a safe distance, but at 600 miles per hour, it is nothing. The outer ring of defense has failed. The middle ring was distracted by the ballistic threat. Now, it is entirely up to the last resort. On the side of the carrier and the destroyers, a white dome spins rapidly. This is the Phalanx CIWS system. It looks like a robot mounted with a Gatling gun. It does not need a human to push the button. It decides for itself. The radar on the gun locks onto the incoming missile. The barrels spin up. The sound is not like a machine gun. It sounds like a giant canvas ripping in half. It is a terrifying electric buzz that vibrates the entire deck. 20mm tungsten bullets pour out of the barrel at 4,500 rounds per minute. A solid stream of red tracers creates a wall of lead in the air. The first missile from the trawler flies straight into the stream. It disintegrates. The warhead explodes prematurely, sending a shower of hot shrapnel into the water. The second missile tries to maneuver. It weaves hard to the left. The Phalanx tracks it perfectly. The robotic turret snaps to the side. Another explosion. This one is much closer. The shockwave hits the side of the ship, rattling the teeth of everyone on board and knocking loose equipment to the floor. Meanwhile, high overhead, the SM-6 missiles find their targets in the upper atmosphere. The sky is full of white puffs of smoke where the ballistic missiles were destroyed. But one drone, just one single Shahed, slips through the chaos. It is small. It is slow. The guns are busy with the missiles. It dives straight toward the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln. A young sailor on the catwalk sees it coming. He raises his rifle, but he knows it is futile. Suddenly, a beam of invisible energy hits the drone. It is the Odin system, a high-power laser dazzler. It fries the optical sensor on the drone in a millisecond. The drone goes blind. It veers sharply to the right, misses the control tower by 50 feet, and crashes harmlessly into the ocean. A massive splash sends water onto the deck. Then, silence. The gun stops spinning. The smoke hangs in the damp air. Status report. The captain barks. All vampires splash. No hits on the hull. We are clean, Captain. The bridge crew exhales. It was a matter of seconds between life and death. They are alive. But the silence does not last long. The sun begins to rise over the Persian Gulf. The water is calm again, but the radar screens remain active. The attack failed, but the message was received. Iran proved they could coordinate a massive strike using swarms, ballistic missiles, and hidden proxies all at once. Now, it is the United States' turn to reply. Authorization granted for Strike Package Alpha. Hundreds of miles away, the hatches on a submarine open. Tomahawk cruise missiles launch from the water. From the decks of the surviving ships, more missiles roar to life. They are aiming for the head of the snake, the command bunkers where the orders were given. The F-35 jets turn back toward Iran, carrying stealth missiles to blind the regime. Intelligence reports confirm the strikes are precise. But the ripple effect is just beginning. The region is now a war zone. The price of oil is spiking and markets are crashing. The biggest lesson from tonight is the cost. Iran spent a few $1 million on drones. The United States spent hundreds of millions on interceptors to stop them. It was a tactical victory, but a strategic warning. Back on the ship, the sailors are cleaning the soot off the launchers. They are tired. Their hands are shaking. The captain looks out at the horizon. He knows the geographical war has barely started. "Reload the launchers," he says quietly. "They will be back tonight."